Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another exciting evening of Overwatch. My name's Amanda Commanda Dupuis, and I'm here with Shadi Zeddy Hana. How are you doing today, Zeddy?
Doing great. I'm really excited for our UCEA season opener, the University of Texas, Dallas versus St. Clair.
It's going to be a good match, I think. Looks like the boys might have finally met their match this evening.
Yeah, you were telling me before the stream that University of Texas is, at least their main team is a full Grandmaster team, so definitely a much stronger lineup than what we've seen from some of the other schools that we've played against so far. I'm hoping it's going to be a closer game than previously, for sure.
And as always, tonight we'd like to thank our sponsors, St. Clair College, the St. Clair Student Representative Council, St. Clair Alumni Association, Zuckerman School of Business and IT, PC Outlet, and Tim Hortons.
With other sponsors, we want to be able to host these awesome events, and it looks like we're about to get started into our first event of the night, our first game here in our Best of 5 series, St. Clair versus University of Texas here on Oasis.
Yeah, looks like it's going to be a good match. Both teams are choosing heroes right now. Looks like we're going to have the classic St. Clair kind of brawly dive comp that we're seeing a lot in the meta right now, and looks like University of Texas is going to do something very similar as well.
Yeah, and I mean, often with Overwatch, these meta games, you find they're pretty locked in. You usually see similar comps. Both teams coming out here. This dive is very popular right now, of course. So we see Justin off to the side here, just using his heals, keeping everyone, his team alive up, available, pushing into the front here, just getting some all charged up here. No one's really committing to anything in the fight. It's kind of just slow, easy pokes. But they are chasing in Cotero. He does manage to get out alive, and University of Texas manages to hold on to the point here and establishes themselves first. Skullet's actually finding his coalescence already, committing it immediately into this fight. It's going to be slow back and forth here. So Justin responding with a coalescence of his own. Both teams kind of just happy to poke off to the side, and Prince Wada actually manages to find Lucio off on the side here. University of Texas losing that support. You watch as their health bars fall. Winston goes down, Moira goes down, Diva goes down. That's going to be a quick and easy wipe for St. Clair.
Looks like St. Clair is going to try to push up to these doors here to really assert that win and make sure that there's nobody hiding behind those hallways.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen that from them before, right? Like St. Clair, this lineup, they're very aggressive. They know what they have to do. They know where they have to be. And when they get those kills, they often chase those stragglers and hold those front doors and make sure that they don't allow anybody to get free ultimate charge for nothing, right? We actually see committed here from Strider going into the backline. Winston gets knocked down. Skullet gets taken down as well. The Diva Mech gets popped as well. And it's just a massacre here at the beginning of this point here on Oasis. 25% already secured for St. Clair. And Dallas not really able to do much for themselves here at the start of this point.
For sure. St. Clair does have to be careful, though, because Blank has come up on his EMP, and it looks like he's kind of sneaking behind, so they have to make sure to watch their backs, or else they won't be able to use any of these ultimates to this fight.
We actually see first-person view on Blank here in the back, completely behind Seymour on the Diva here, probably looking for a hack on that mech. Seymour does have the ultimate available, and I'm pretty sure University of Texas knows this. We are likely going to see the hack coming out here quickly, but there is actually the Diva bomb being committed right before the fight even breaks out, an immediate mech hack into the bounce back here from Sombra. Derpy actually taking out 2 on the St. Clair side, and it looks like St. Clair is actually going to lose a couple here, almost losing the entire team. Strider barely making it out alive, actually getting taken out here, and that's going to be a full team wipe for University of Texas.
Well, we haven't seen that happen to St. Clair yet this season, really. A few times, but looks like they have met their match, and it's going to be a closer match here, as St. Clair only got to 70% before University of Texas Dallas could reclaim that point.
For sure, the 70% is quite a bit to cap. However, I think the more concerning point to me is all these ultimate charges available for University of Texas. And we actually see a number of ults being committed here, available, already going in with the Death Blossom, not managing to clean up any kills, poking in from the side. Looks like it's just going to quickly reset back. Prince Wada does get hacked after committing the Primal Rage, and that's going to be a triple kill for Cotero with the Death Blossom. Inspire cleaning up Justin on the back. Wada is soon to fall, and Texas holding on to this point with an amazing amount of strength and dominance here.
For sure. We saw ultimates committed left, right, and center, and it looks like right now St. Clair is not doing great in their ult economy, and same thing is going for University of Texas Dallas right now, because nobody has ultimates, and only Sombras on both teams are coming up on their ults, so...
Yeah, and the danger with a situation like this, right, is that with Dallas having the point kind of confirmed here. While both teams are charging their ultimate, Dallas is still getting percentage charged in. But Strider with an awesome pick onto Mini-Punch in the back. Lucio goes down here, and we saw it last time. Once that healer goes down, the rest of the team is soon to fall. Dallas getting poked out here. Available, taking that aggression, poking and slamming into Critero. The headshot directly to the face. That's the double kill. Cleaning up on the Moira on the side. That's going to be a team wipe. Available is on fire, and that's an easy cap back for St. Clair.
Wow, they make it look easy sometimes. I don't know how they do it.
They really do. It's quick, strong target focus. Like you saw there, right, with Strider jumping in on the back onto the Lucio, the hack, and just the falling headshot tracking, that beautiful tracking as he was falling off the launch pad there, cleaning up that Lucio kill. It was him and I believe Wada at the same time on that target focus, and it just shows how well this team knows and trusts each other, right? You see Strider committing the hack up from the top here, available with the Death Blossom available, waiting for the perfect time to use it. Critero does take out Wada on the back. St. Clair may just take the reset here. We do see available actually going down. With St. Clair on 99%, I think they're comfortable taking the full reset here, and they're going to give the point over to Dallas, but they're not ready. They're not done yet. They've got some ultimates available, and they're ready to swing this back here on this last and final push.
Both teams have Reaper ulti for this fight, and looks like Apostle's also coming up on beat, so both teams are about even for ultimates, except Yustin has a Coalescence and Seymour does have a Diva Bomb for this fight. So if it's a battle of the ultimates, St. Clair might be able to win this point, but somebody needs to touch within the next 5%, and it looks like they do. Here we have Derpy. Oh my God. Secured by University of Texas, Dallas, before St. Clair could even touch there.
Yeah, that might have been a little bit of a miscommunication there. It looked like St. Clair had their feet kind of just on the side there. They were just waiting for the perfect moment to jump in, and the call was just never made, and the point actually just swings right over to University of Texas. St. Clair dropping that first point there on the 99% to 100. Just an unfortunate circumstance there. The game's going to go 1-0 for Texas in this first point on the Oasis.
Very close match. If this one round says anything about this game, I'd like to see the rest of the game be like this, you know, back and forth fights, lots and lots of skill on both sides. We can definitely see that for sure.
Oh, for sure. And you can tell that St. Clair's squad really wants to make up for that misplay there. A little rattling, to be honest, to see that we've seen this team be very dominant and very communicative in these last couple games. They really know each other well, and they know how to follow up on that. So we're hopefully going to see kind of a swing back to perfection here at the start of this point. Derpy does actually manage to take out Yustin in the back with the fireball. A couple kills get traded back and forth, but it looks like Texas is managing to hold this point pretty strongly. And Sombra's just going to kind of claim control of that side room as they push the St. Clair squad back to base.
St. Clair kind of has a taste of their own medicine from these last few games, pushing teams all the way to spawn. Now they're kind of getting the same treatment now.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you're really good at doing it to other people, but it may not be as easy to do it to others yourself, right? Mm-hmm. It's a tricky situation.
St. Clair's looking like they're looking for a pick just to get in. Wada's leading them in to the fight. Both Reinhardts go down there. Oh, but Prince Wada prevails, and it looks like they're going to try to clean up here. St. Clair's going to clean up on University of Texas. Skullik's popping his Coalescence. Can he get a pick with it? It looks like he got Prince Wada. So really, it's anybody's game right now. But it looks like Seymour gets a kill, and and their University of Texas Reinhardt came back, but it was too little, too late, and St. Clair seems to have capped the point.
Yeah, and I think what really went well for St. Clair there was just, again, it's that target focus, right? Like, they may be trading kills, but St. Clair's taking up those key targets, right? That Reinhardt goes down. Okay, then that Lucio goes down. That Moira commits her ulti, but gets pushed completely off the point. She's forced to cancel her ulti halfway through and shift out of the fight. And it really just shows that, like, even though these two teams are showing an incredible amount of dominance, St. Clair just has that extra edge there. But unfortunately here we are seeing this fight go completely the opposite way. Derpy taking out Yustin, Prince Wada falling, and just as we were saying, those tanks and those healers, once they go down, the rest of the team falls. St. Clair getting poked out here, taking a ton of damage. That Zarya only on 55%, but incredible tracking onto Apostle. Apostle taking a large chunk of damage from that Zarya beam. And St. Clair's going to have to look for the reset here.
Well, you could have the best DPS in the world, but if you can't have a tank or a healer alive to support them, then you're going to be forced to regroup and have to try again.
Yeah, these fights are really crazy to watch because it kind of, like, it kind of looks like you're just watching a mirror, right? Like one team
Yeah.
to the one, and then they swing it back and do it the other way around. We actually see, just as we're saying that, the mirror, the double grab comes out, followed by the coalescence for Skullex here, and that coalescence providing a ton of healing for the side of the University of Texas. None of them go down. They trade out 3 kills, 4 kills now. Available dropping down as well. Apostle getting chased all the way back to base, and they're going to actually take him down here. That's a team wipe for University of Texas on this point.
University of Texas definitely has a roster full of skilled players here. St. Clair is going to have to push on to the point as soon as possible to even have a chance at winning this game.
We do, however, see on this final point here that there is the Shatter available for Wada alongside the Coalescence for Justin, but none of that's going to matter when you get hacked. Blank with the amazing flank in the backline here. That's an amazing hack on everybody. Nobody can use any of their abilities. St. Clair completely taken out of the fight here, getting those kills in the back. Apostle doing what he can, taking out Tinspire on the side, but he's not going to survive for much longer. There he goes down, and University of Texas is going to win this point 2-0.
Oh, Prince Wada says, no, not yet, and uses his ult, jumps onto point, making some space for their Doomfist. But looks like it's not going to work. Blank.
Yeah, I've spoken a little too soon, but they are kind of trickling in here. And we see often when teams trickle in, it's kind of hard to maintain control over that point. They're picking a lot of fast heroes, right? We switch to the ball, we switch to the Lucio, and yeah, eventually the straggling, the tricklers, they do get picked off. And indeed, the point is going to go to Texas. Maybe not as prematurely as I've said, but that is going to be a 2-0 on this Oasis map for the University of Texas Dallas squad.
That was the closest game I think we've seen yet in the, well, from the preseasons of both the leagues that St. Clair College is playing in. So definitely this game is going to be interesting. Could really go either way at this point.
For sure. I think the St. Clair squad here, you know, watching these games, after playing these games, really going to take some time to kind of evaluate how their attack is going. They've had kind of a similar strategy in the last couple 3 games. Prince Wada and Seymour obviously having a really good kind of synergistic tank line with those divers, being able to do what they can to take up the Lucios in the back, the healers in the back, picking through those Reinhardt shields. But now they're having the exact same thing done to them. And that's an unfamiliar experience. You know, you're used to being in the driver's seat. You're used to controlling the pace of the game. And all of a sudden, somebody's doing that to you. You know, we see these amazing Sombra flanks that are completely taking like Wada out of the fight every single time. We saw him get EMP'd and then hacked individually as well. That's like 10 seconds of silence, not being able to use any of your abilities. And that's really tricky for a team if you've never experienced that before, or at least not on the main stage in this season, as we've seen so far, you know, St. Clair having these really dominant wins. So very kind of new scenario for the St. Clair Saints this time around. Especially
when you have a Reinhardt. Getting your Reinhardt hacked is very scary because all he can do is swing his hammer. He can't put up his shield or anything. When that happens, you can't protect your team and it all starts to fall apart. Like, your Ryan might as well be dead if he's not holding up that shield or if he's not getting in a few quick swings of the hammer. So going into a fight without a shield is a very difficult thing to do. So definitely, I see why St. Clair had a bit of a rough time with that point there.
Oh, for sure. And especially, like, you know, those Reinhardt hammers, like you were saying, they do a lot of damage, but it's not enough. And it's not enough to make up for the fact that the rest of your team is taking just that much damage back. So really nice win for University of Texas Dallas here on this first. And we're going to take a quick little break here before we jump into our second map. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Overwatch right in a little bit.
Traveling to Havana. Initiating match.
We are back on Havana now, and it appears we're going to be a best of 3 here, so St. Clair really needs to win this map to have a chance at winning this game, or else the win will go to Dallas.
Yeah, and I mean, this is exactly what we saw last week on the UCEA game on Wednesday as well. St. Clair having that control point map, swinging immediately into Havana, and we saw how badly they dominated Arkansas on this point. Hopefully some of that kind of some of that victory vibing just got retained, and hopefully they can swing that back again here onto the University of Texas squad. They really guarded that gate. As we remember, they didn't even let Arkansas out of the base, but it is actually going to be St. Clair attacking first on this point. So hopefully with a little bit of a push there, they can establish themselves, get themselves some distance, and then show us that rock hard defense that they had last time.
They really have to watch out for Blank here as he's looking to get an early pick. Last game, Blank was kind of the turning point, the win condition, and if they don't watch out for him, then they can fall apart.
Yeah, these Sombra hacks are really devastating, especially to some of these big diving shield reliant tanks like Winston and Zarya. It's a lot to lose your abilities on these champions because these heroes don't do a lot of damage, right?
Yeah.
And when you lose your abilities, you kind of lose a lot of your value. So we actually do see here Kotero taking out Wada on the side and pushing back, and it looks like Texas is kind of employing the St. Clair tactic on St. Clair, not really letting them out of the spawn, actually chasing Apostle all the way back home, right up the top. Apostle trying to climb up the wall, but he can't get out of the way, and he is going to go down here. And University of Texas holding right on the payload.
You're getting deja vu here, Zeddy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's deja vu, but not the way you want to see it.
Yeah.
It's going the other way. And there is going to be a coalescence flip here, coalescence for both teams being committed. And it looks like St. Clair is just going to back off here completely and fully reset. They're going to have to take some time to think about how they want to approach this attack in order to get out of this base. Because right now, University of Texas really not giving them a whole lot of leg room.
I'm out of here.
They really have to be careful when both their tanks are down in that situation, so I don't blame them for backing up. But they are running out of time.
We did see Kotero going for a really cheeky drop there. We actually do see the triple kill Death Blossom getting committed there, and that's going to be almost nearly a team wipe for the University of Texas squad onto the side of St. Clair. I was just going to say, before that fight, we saw Kotero establishing himself on top of that gas station there, and Strider had really good knowledge to know that that's where the Reaper was going to be, going in with this cheeky hack. But once that EMP got committed by Blank, there was nothing they could really do. They just kind of fell to the ult.
Exactly. Looks like Apostle's rounding up his team there to hopefully dodge that EMP, but looks like it's not going to happen. Oh, my apologies, the EMP was on the side of St. Clair. But it looks like University of Texas is getting quite a few picks on St. Clair. Both tanks on the St. Clair side are down, and they're going to have to retreat back into spawn.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy because we saw the EMP getting committed, the beat getting committed, the grab getting committed, and Texas lost nothing.
Yeah.
3 massive ultimates. I think Tinspire also committed his grab as well. Looks like his ult kind of cool that has been reset, so there must have been a grab there. I didn't actually see that get committed thrown out. But St. Clair committing 3 ultis to 1 and not really finding any space here on this initial push.
Oh, and they get shattered right next to their spawn here. That's kind of a slap in the face onto St. Clair. But Justin lands a Coalescence and Bailable lands a Pulse Bomb. 2 Coalescence kills for Justin. Will this be enough to let them push in? Apostle with another kill on Critero, and looks like they've secured the payload.
Yeah, it looks like St. Clair finally got their game plan together. After that pick went down on Blank, that's a long walk back, especially on these payload maps. That's a long walk back for Blank. And they eventually kind of just overwhelmed the University of Texas side with that damage, with those short, quick respawns. That's the danger with guarding right at the enemy base, is that if you're trading 1 for 1, one team's got a 5-second walk back to the fight, the other's got a 55-second walk, right? So that's the value of those picks. And kind of the risk reward there with that type of guarding from Texas. So we see St. Clair pushing the payload nearly like 80% of the way here, just getting themselves established. This is typically where you see teams actually defending on this map. They don't usually go up that far, but it looks like we're not going to really see much more of a defense coming out. This is probably looking like the game-ending fight here. We see a triple kill for Kotero going down. Minipone taking out Seymour on the side. Strider doing what he can, trading kills onto Derpy, but he's not going to be able to hold this point alone. We're going to have to see if St. Clair can get themselves set up back on this point. Available on the Tracer, doing whatever he can to get himself to touch that point, trying to survive, dancing around the point, using those Tracer blinks to fly backwards and forwards. The Coalescence does get committed, and Available chasing off to the side. St. Clair does actually manage to reestablish themselves on this point, and this fight just doesn't stop. But Kotero popping off on the Reaper, that's a double kill, that's a triple kill, that's back-to-back triple kills here. He does get hacked, but the St. Clair squad is quickly going to fall, and Kotero cleaning up 4 or 5 kills all by himself. Just an amazing game from Kotero so far.
Wow, Kotero just popped off at the end there. I think he pretty much got that entire team kill just by himself.
Yeah, and I mean we've seen that every single fight. We see these big Reaper plays. This Reaper is obviously very dominant in these tanks, right? And with St. Clair kind of being like their typical attack plan really revolves around their tank line. Seymour and Prince Wada kind of leading the team's charge here. And once those tanks go down, it's really hard for the St. Clair squad to kind of like reestablish themselves on these points. And that Reaper coming in from the front, that's a really scary counter pick. And unfortunately, Strider, even with the Sombra counter pick, just isn't finding the space to kind of get those hacks in when he needs to. So University of Texas going to push St. Clair, really not let them get much distance on this first point here. Only having to take it like 60% of the way on this map. So hopefully St. Clair can kind of set themselves up for a really strong defense. And we can see some good gameplay from them on this final map.
St. Clair needs to not lose a single fight, maybe one at most, just to be able to keep them off of the payload. Because if they let them push it too far, then the entire game's over and there's no chance of coming back. But if they can hold them off, then we'll go into the next game and maybe they'll have a chance at redemption.
That's right. As we did say, this is not a best of 5. It is a best of 3, meaning that if University of Texas wins this point, they win the match in its entirety. So this is really kind of a last haul for St. Clair to show us their stuff and put out the strongest defense that they can muster on the Savannah point.
Looks like early here, there's just some damage being swapped back and forth. Not too many kills yet. Available did get hacked for a moment there, and it looks like there's a trade on tanks already.
Yeah, both Reinhardt's going down here at the start of this fight. Available showing us the strength of that Reaper. We've seen it from Cotero, but we also know that Available has a very strong play with this hero here. Already about 50% of the way to ultimate, but Cotero, just a dominant push there. The instant double kill onto Seymour, onto Available. And University of Texas is going to be able to push this payload quite a little bit here before St. Clair is able to establish themselves. We do actually see Blank there going in for the cheeky poke on Wada, but managing to barely escape with his life. 50 health with that Sombra translocator. And Prince Wada getting pushed all the way back. That Sombra hack right onto the health pack as Prince Wada's trying to touch it. Really cheeky play there from Blank, poking off to the side, getting himself set up in this flank.
St. Clair has to look out for both Critero and Blank. Sorry, my mind went blank just watching this fight.
That's right.
So,
blank makes you go blank, and
exactly.
we don't have time for our minds to go blank here. This fight is going crazy. Justin with the coalescence there, and unfortunately, we don't even get to see much of a fight at all. Get that Graviton Surge getting committed, holding St. Clair off the point, and University of Texas is gonna just dominate on this point here.
Looks like they won the whole game just so fast.
2 games now where, like, honestly, the wins have baffled me.
Yeah.
It's like these little spaces where St. Clair just like a quarter of an inch away from the point, and they just can't get their foot to touch, and the point just moves an inch or goes up a percentage, and the game's just over.
And Critero just with the amazing kills here, he's just insane. As you could see in that play, he just kill after kill after kill, and St. Clair didn't have time to breathe or even realize what was happening.
Of course, it's always a team effort, but sometimes you do really see MVPs kind of show up in these games, and Critero definitely claiming that spot in this match, doing an incredible job on Reaper there. A triple kill nearly every fight. That Death Blossom was like never on cooldown. It was up every time he needed it, and really good synergy between him and Blank to have that EMP setting up for the Death Blossom for those quick and easy kills. I'm not going to lie, I'm shocked from how these games have ended. That Oasis point like blew my mind. Like they were like a step away from holding on to that game, and it just didn't happen.
Exactly.
Where did the game go?
This entire game today was exactly like that. Just as you think, St. Clair has it, all of a sudden, everybody was killed in an instant. Like you blink and you'll miss it.
For real, your mind goes blank.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and a really, really outstanding job from Texas, University of Texas, Dallas, really giving St. Clair a really strong game here for the season opener, and kind of showing us the level of competition that we're going to see for the rest of the season. So every loss, is a victory as far as I'm concerned. You get to learn from your mistakes. You get to watch these games after. I'm sure St. Clair squad is going to be watching this VOD later, trying to figure out what they can do better next time. We know they're great players. We've seen them play amazingly well in previous matches. So this shouldn't weigh too heavily on them. We'll know they'll take this as a learning experience, and the next one is going to be that much better.
Exactly.
And it looks like we are going to take a quick look at the upcoming schedule here for the Saints Gaming varsity teams. So Thursday, tomorrow actually, NACE Overwatch. So moving from UCEA to the NACE League, it's going to be another Overwatch game against Kettering University. Then on Friday, the Collegiate Rainbow Six regular season. It's going to be another game for our R6 squad. On Saturday, a weekend game for the Rocket League team and Spirit Esports Tournament. Followed by next week, going into Monday, the UCEA Rocket League season opener. On Tuesday, the Counter-Strike season opener. On Wednesday, another Overwatch game. And on Thursday, another Rocket League game. So make sure to tune into these games so you can support your St. Clair Saints in their games for the rest of the week. And hopefully we'll get to see some really amazing play from our other teams as well.
Right. And before we go, let's just read over our sponsors one more time. Thank you again to St. Clair College, the St. Clair College Student Representative Council, St. Clair Alumni Association, Zeppelin School of Business and IT, PC Outlet, and Tim Hortons.
Like we said, we can't host these awesome events without our sponsors. So thank you so much for promoting these events and helping us host these really great games and providing these opportunities to our students so that they can play, myself included, obviously, on the Hearthstone team. I'm especially grateful for having these opportunities. So thank you again so much to our sponsors. And thank you to all our viewers as well for coming and supporting our teams. It means a lot, and I know they really appreciate it. Even when it's a loss, it's good to have your friends and fans cheering you on. So thank you so much to everyone that came out tonight, and we look forward to seeing you at tomorrow's game.
Alrighty.